Hello, Asher Academy. All right, so let's talk about volume. Super excited about this, guys. So first of all, make sure you're ready for math. Make sure you have your workbook, something to write with, preferably a pencil. And go ahead and take a seat. So here we go. So first of all, let's get a little warmed up. And I wanted to make this a little bit fun since, we're having to do this remotely. So find the person nearest to you and tell them what a polygon is. And if you need to, go ahead and grab a piece of paper and draw it out if that's easier to show them what a polygon is. So pause this video, take a second to do that. All right, so hopefully you just hit play again. So the person that told you about a polygon, she was hopefully telling you that it's a closed figure, so it means all the lines connect, and you have to use straight sides for a polygon. So like circles don't count because they're curved, but squares would be a polygon because all sides are straight. Okay. All right, here's the next thing. Okay, use your hands. Demonstrate for me what 3D means. Okay, so I'm hopefully seeing some motions where you're showing me that it has width, it has length, and it has height. Okay, that's where we get 3 dimensions from. So width, length, and height. So pretty much everything in our world that takes up space is a 3-dimensional object. Okay. All right, so speaking of those 3 dimensions, so we can kind of see that with a cube here. So follow along with my, oh, where's my cursor? There it is. Follow along with my cursor. So the 3 dimensions here, so here's your width, here's your length, and here's your height. Now, for those of you who would be interested in this, the width and the length are pretty much interchangeable. We could have called this the width and this the length, and that would have been fine. All right, and so when I look at this, I can see that, oh, okay, so the width and the length make up a 2-dimensional object, okay, so the bottom of this cube, and then the height basically stacks that on top of it, okay, which is where we're going to get our idea of doing volume. Okay, so we're going to talk about volume being pretty much all this space inside of this figure here. And we're going to measure volume by figuring out how many of these cubes we could pack into something. That's how we're going to quantify volume. Okay, all right, but before we get there, we need to know the figures that we're talking about. So we are talking about polyhedron, which are 3D solids whose faces are all polygons. So a face is a side of a figure. So if you look at this pyramid over here, you've got a side that's a triangle, a side that is a triangle, the bottom of it is a square. So that's a polyhedron. All the faces are polygons. Okay, now think about this actually. Would this sphere be a polyhedron? Actually it would not, right? Because it doesn't even actually have faces, does it? So no polyhedron there. This would be a polyhedron. You've got all kinds of squares going on in this cube. Okay, so that's a polyhedron. Now, actually, technically, a cylinder is not a polyhedron because you've got a face here that's a circle, and a circle is not a polygon. Very interesting, right? But this right here, this triangular prism, definitely a polyhedron. Okay, all right. And when we talk about polyhedron, we can kind of quantify them or organize them into 2 different groups here. We can do one group being the pyramids. So pyramids have some type of base, and then all of the lines come up to meet at a single point. Okay, so this is considered to be a rectangular pyramid because the bottom of it is a rectangle. Okay. This is a hexagonal pyramid. The bottom of it is a hexagon. Heptagonal pyramid. The bottom of it is a heptagon, a 7-sided figure. And this is a decagonal pyramid. The bottom of it is a 10-sided figure. Okay. So notice that with pyramids, the faces up here are all triangles, and then you name it by the shape that's on the base of the pyramid. Okay. The other group of polyhedron we would call prisms. So prisms have 2 faces that are the same figure, and then they connect in between them. Okay, so like this would be a triangular prism because there's triangles in the 2 bases, and then they've connected the 2. This would be considered a square prism because you've got 2 squares, top and bottom, and then they are connected all the way through. You could also call it a rectangular prism because technically a square is a rectangle. You could also call this one a cube because all the sides are the same. Okay. This one would be a pentagonal prism. Okay, you've got 2 pentagons and then everything connected. This one's a hexagonal prism, heptagonal prism, octagonal prism, nonagonal prism, decagonal prism, and dodecagonal prism. Okay, so notice the common thing with the prisms, all of them have two identical bases, and then you've got the connecting in between those two bases, which just forms then a whole bunch of rectangles around the sides of the prism. Okay, all right, so now that you've got some basic vocabulary under your belt, so you know what a polyhedron is, you know what a prism is, you know what a pyramid is, go ahead and go to this link right here. This is on the website as well, so you can just click on it. And there's a really nice explanation of how we're going to think about finding the volume of these polyhedron. Okay, once you've watched that, you should be good to go on your worksheet 61. All right, FaceTime me or text me any questions that you have, and I hope you are having a lovely day.